Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast, Pajabhuna Gosh Talk. This is a new podcast where we talk about everything that's happening. So we talk about the things that we really feel passionately about, things
Yeah.
that are happening Zimbabwe worldwide. My name is TK, and then you
My
can
name is
introduce yourself.
Gift.
Yes, yes,
Board
I.
members.
Of course. Yes. So
Yeah.
today we're gonna be talking about. I think let's talk about drugs,
Yeah.
right? Like it's been so topical, but social media has been so topical. Uh, anywhere you go,
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
fair, everyone is concerned about um alcohol and substance misuse.
And
So
it's
Gift
yeah.
here does have a bit of a background working native, you know. So,
Yeah, in mental health, of
I mean,
course,
set us up, Baba.
alcohol and
Teach me,
drug abuse is obviously associated in the mental health.
Okay.
So my topics are antongopindran.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, antongopindran.
Yes, sir.
So
So
these
are we
yeah.
saying kuti unless are kutora drugs is because vane some mental health, or is the other way around?
Not per se. Munu my drugs are too associated in mental health. If you do my drugs, you
The likelihood you're
likelihood yekutongoita a mental health problem, a mental health conditions.
Yeah.
Because atoripo mamwe maconditions anotokozwa nealcohol and drug abuse.
Yes, sir.
Akaita sana substance induced psychosis
Oh yeah, psychosis.
vana alcohol abuse their mental health conditions ekuti anotozoemulate after what take those drugs.
Okay.
So they work hand in hand.
Yes, sir. So like what are we talking about? So tukuti chichikitoto noramba chitora, then if we know kuti unopenga ukaita drugs, like, so
There are
why?
many issues, especially with economy. Ngata say Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Atingati tinozvipinpointa to chino one. Nyaya idleness
Shares a bit.
wakaita degree rako oshaya basa, you end up wakutamba nevanhu vasiriwo, wakuintroducwa in masecos asiriwo, and mamwe maissues akaita even se kungoda kutrya new things, ndozviri kutrenda utozopedzera watodini zvinhu zvai zvine maaddiction kaya, you end up being addicted. So even mental health chacho tungoita stress, unongoti ndikaita stress rekani munhu rova hwani munhu
fadza njere. Fadza njere.
so it goes hand in hand. Zvofambidzana, alcohol, but drugs, the mental health, vice versa.
But then I mean, like, so let's talk about alcohol, right?
Yeah.
Personally, don't know my beers. Where do we draw the line? Okay, this is no longer helpful. Like, do we have even, but not really helpful, or let's just say, I don't know, what?
There's a difference. Pane umwe munhu yekuti haatozofunction asina kumwa doro,
atone dependence,
atone dependence, kuti even ane profession yake, unongona munhu akabata kachigubhu kake ari kutongora, even ari muoffice. Zvasiyana nemunhu wekuti anomwana paweekend or sometimes after work, just a shot of whiskey or favorite whiskey. There's a difference. Patone munhu wekuti atone dependence, haachatogoni even whoever pari kufamba mubhazi, mukombi, mutrain, muoffice, anenge achitongorowa.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a difference. There's a difference.
Yeah. So I mean, like, so let's talk about, okay, alcohol. Fine. I think we kind of get kuti.
Yeah.
Yeah. In general, so I mean, traditionally we used to call them marambadu.
Yeah.
Kind of one independence, but
Because
it didn't make any sense to rambo chimwe. But then let's talk about the harder drugs, right? Things like anabrongo, things like
Toriro,
Toriro, Dombo. And then during the time, I know it was popular among the street kids. You glue,
exactly,
sniffing glue and stuff. Like, how can we get the youths to see, Guti, guys, this is doing more damage than it's doing us any good?
I think it's not more awareness campaigns and having my stories evanhu vakabva neko. The guys who were into those drugs and they repented or they reformed, we need to engage them todzokera navo vama sort of
ambassadors,
vakutarisa vakuudza life story yavo kuti takabva neko
Hapana.
hakuna ivo
But tifana takata I feel like vanhu vemazuva tinotanga tadya ipwa tichikudza kuti hakuna ipwa mnatimbotanga tasvika kumhunga ikoko.
But during that course of action during that process munhu unogona kutozvidamaja your life kutozvidamaja even you because madrugs aya even zvinhu zvakaita sana appetite zvinoto hauchatofeed. What is your body doing? What are you doing to your lungs and everything else? Ukukwadza zvinhu. So sometimes ukazozvinonokera unogona kutozotarisa back watoenda.
Zvinenge zvatakwa.
Yeah.
I mean,
so the most important thing kubata the root cause. Chichirumbokonzereswa. Those issues should be addressed first.
I mean, I think there was a statistic. I'm not so sure. 80, almost 60%, I think, of my youths in Zimbabwe like varikurowa drugs.
That's
or
those are worrying.
At least vakambopfura neko.
Those are worrying statistics.
So that means more than half. Yeah, team. I think tinotokwana because I think the bracket was 15 years to 35. I think. And there's as young as 12 years old. Drugs.
Yeah, these are worrying statistics and zvinhu zviri kutoitika. Iyo nyaya yatiri kutarisa ye-idleness yekushaya zvekuita.
But what does a 12-year-old's argument ndekuti idleness yapinda papi because he's supposed to be in school? Are we saying vana was kuenda kuchikoro? That's like another angle that I was thinking about. Are we getting kids to school? Chichikuitika. How does a 12-year-old start kurowa mutoriro?
Yeah, nyaya social learning yokuti pamwe uri kuona blazi wako vari kuzviita. Pamwe do you know mumageto like kamutariro kanoita vanhu vanorova madrugs aya vaya hameno pane kamutauriro kavanenge vachiita so kanotonge kanonakidza so people will be intrigued by the way they talk. Wamona munhu wekuti anenge achiti ndikutsongwa chichidini matauriro avanenge vachiita so apfana vaya those are marole models avo vanhu vakadaro. So they will end up even
so
peer pressure.
We're having a lack of we're not having like enough role models. Is that also part of the problem?
I think
they're emulating
and even ukatarisa music yanga ichitrend the past years mu Zimbabwe is imdanso.
But that's always been the case, isn't it?
Of which those people vanoimba vachikuza mutoriro vachisimbisa madrugs vachisimbisa mbanje. It's in the nature of music.
But I've seen a shift though. Like I think we've seen a shift from where Zim Dancer used to be just let's talk about Nonyatsira, let's talk about Mtoriro, let's ngatipinde mbaubu, ngatita say. Then now it's more like they do come out and they say, you know what, I think we've seen most of my prominent artists talking about
do you think they mean it or campaign inenge ichibuditsa mari yavakozi yavapusha kuti
I'm not 100% sure. Like to be fair, I can't be sure because I feel like zvinotoda takutovabvunza tototi awangu like tiri safe here or not. But at the same time I've met people vanokudza kuti wangu life iri kurwadza and then they come to you and then mukungotaura magwanzi and then munotokudza kuti wangu ndozvamai manje ndikutoda chi angatona ndosheka rutoda something and then unomutichi like how do we start that conversation? Because I'm thinking we've already had my NGOs come and say let's stop drug abuse. I know the government did something. That movement yatanga 2021 I think the whole movement of katsunge drug dealers, but still we still have codeine mustreet
because those vacho zvatachitaura kuti root cause ari kubva kupi madrugs ari kupinda
so
sei
yeah,
munyika?
access like
Yeah,
how are we
even accessibility mumwe mufana mudiki anotogona kutongosvika pakona mustreet make akutongoritenga
yes sir
yeah
tonge tuck shop akutongotenga mafreeze
kutange tuck shop because even affordability you know afana unoshanda vari vanepi mari vari kutenga zvinhu zvazvo and you know I've seen a lot of parents vachichema kuti pamangu hamsina tv even mafoni vakatora hembe vari kutengesa and stuff amwe apana vari kutomoza even moza atoenda achinobeja mabhora ake achibuda nekamari kake kakanaka
akatondonayo kumba uko
otobeja mabhora ake akutona $50 akutotenga madrugs so
it's a reality on
yeah
and I think this comes down to as well even alright tomboti tine mfano wangu and then he gets into trouble with my drugs and let's say he gets hooked or whatever. I know we have what do we have in Zim like Shirko address for these issues? Like do we not so have my equipped centers to
yeah but of course you know nenye dzekuti Zimbabwe tatisina that problem yako you know
it's now a pandemic.
Yeah, it's now a pandemic. Of course tinawo ma-mental health institutions but akutofladwa drugs and sometimes unotoona kusina kana space and rather than kuti those institutions are meant for vanhu vane ma-mental health
medically
ana bipolar na depression na schizophrenia and mamwe esaya but now if you look into it ukaenda murehab uri kuona vanhu 80-90%
team of drugs.
Yeah.
So we are shooting ourselves in the leg.
Yeah.
I mean,
kariba issues about substance you know unopezera zvinhu zvazvia unopezera wakutoita na psychosis
yeah
wakuto vanhu vanenge vachiti kutsomwa veve wakutoona zvinhu zvako wega wakuita ma-hallucinations wakuita ma-delusions and everything it's that bad it's that bad
but anyway like I think we've seen the rise of other centers they're rehabilitating people. I want us to go through. So there's a clip I found. I know we, Takambori Seka, but I know it's quite. I think it was trending. I think it's still trending. It's Matrix, like their rehabilitation program. And then I'm particularly interested in this clip because the person in this video. He's 30, I think. Yeah. He's an adult. And then he's at this center with Vangavana, right? And I think there's a lot to unpack in that video. But let's watch it and then let's discuss what you think with it, or where are we going with these programs?
ashanoshanda mubhawa akachaira obvapiwa bhiya akaona mari obvanzi bhiya akasumudza makiresi obvanzi bhiya mama asvika akwakuita bp nekuti bhiya racho rakawandisa ndoyeganyaya handitupe mutoriro munga handitouzive asi kana makada kundidzidzisa unochaiwa nevadharani kana zvimwe zvese osha yangu mabhiya chete ndinongomwa black label wakaya ndinomwa futi neyeye anzi nyati ndinofarira hapeno kuti pane akuda kundibvunza kana kuti akuda kuti haana kuzvinzwa andiani iye akuti haana kuzvinzwa zvandataura mama what's the problem
fluent
ane 18 years mama wangu anenge akutoshaya kuti uita sene mari ikuwawanda uchangopatara riapo every time kuti ashwawashuwa wawa unoendesa munhu kuriapo maita basa mampomuka
haasi kunzwisisa kuti
next week mauze kuti zvamunoita kamwana kenyu kakamuka
Kakamunuka.
kasi kamiwawawa
I mean, there's more to this video, but I think what really got to me though is, obviously Ashi Munumkur, and you can see in the video, Vanwana were in that camp, Vanawadik,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
They look younger than he is.
Yeah.
So what do we have in Zim in terms of? So I would assume kuti Asha kwanse kwenda rehab and it's either he has to go voluntarily.
Yeah,
and it-
yeah, of course.
Especially if it's like alcohol, then it becomes you need to be the one that pusha to
Yeah,
which get over the thing.
yeah.
But it seems like Ashika moms akatondo badala thing. Wakati shanda nemkomana.
Tikaende kuria. Yeah, sometimes do you know ma issues akadai, as long as munhu asati aku accept out any problem, it will be difficult to help that person.
Yeah, so coming back then
Yeah.
to Ashi, because if Ashi lives today and let's say moms, and I'm not sure how many months these programs go for.
Yeah, yeah.
But are we doing things so kuti Ashaka Buddha, Ashi's not doing drugs. Achataga chaira or chairwa. Or like I think probably Aitakangwa he would act in a certain way or Sanga City detrimental to his welfare in a way.
Yeah.
So are we saying tikamu kunguritsa madaga nditi tomuti pusha whatever so vari kupushiswa totirova military chichi. Are we saying that's enough kuti Asha asarwe drugs, or are we saying we need more?
We not kusazoziya hangu how this rehab works,
How their
and-
model
and-
works.
and everything, but most of my rehabs, like especially big guy, and from experience where ndakaona a rehab unofanira kunyatsoitwa multidisciplinary approach
Okay, yeah.
when it comes to treatment yevanhu vane ma-addictions aya. For example, you should have a psychiatrist, you have a psychologist involved, occupational therapist involved, social workers involved, and any other medical health
Professions, I think my psychiatrist, I think they need it for medication.
Yeah, of course. Psychiatrist and diagnose and everything is the most important. So in order kuti tibvise pfungwa iyi yekuti he doesn't see anything wrong with alcohol, but akutopa problem amai vake kuti havane mari
Mari yakawanda,
yakawandouratadzei ndofarira do, but ma-effects edoro haasi kuaona. Zvaari kuzonoenda achinoita mucommunity manje, pamwe akutokanganisa maneighbors, akuba pamba, akushungurudza amai. So we need to have ma-professions ese ouya and deal with these men as on a professional level. Ma-psychologists vanofanira, because they have their way, they have their therapies ekubvisa that mindset.
But I've seen some of these therapies and it, like, I mean, I've used some of them as well, just to sort of like have those conversations. Never know.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a personal opinion.
Yeah.
If we look at a structure like Tombotuku and Pari and it, are we certain till we can bring those people together? Do we even have those people?
Yeah, of course.
To the point where they are able to do this.
Yeah, brain drain, of course. Professions are always going out, but the model is there.
Okay, so the model
Is there. Yokutoti, I'm confident kuti my structures akanyatsobuild up, akanyatsoita consistency. These people will be helped todaro, because munhu akapinda for a program, onyatsokuitwa rehabilitation yake, all those professions come together twice a week discussing about welfare each patient, how every profession is helping the patient. So the model works.
Okay.
Tisingazozivi kuma-rehabs aya yakuti ma-professions ese waya are involved here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's something that we can't answer at this point, but
so corporal punishment haibatsiri
Unotoita
ndorwadziwa 3 months
Unoita
idzodzo
mukonyo, sha.
ndorwadziwa 3 months idzodzo bandadzokera I still need my job kambaome
because nesina mari.
hauna mari
Yeah, and
Ah,
you haven't
hausi
told me
kuda
anything
kudependa.
about kunonzi reintegrate and what I can do apart from kurova mabhi yangu. But I guess it's it's something that they can pick their brains.
that's another important point yawataura iyoyo yekuti of course tagara newe 3 months taona kuti wasoba taona kuti waright what is being done to reintroduce or to
Reintegrate, yeah.
reintegrate you back into the community, because I think that's the most important step.
Yeah,
That's
because
the
I
most
feel like
important step. Because yeah, it depends, because I feel like tinga rehabilitate munhu tingadini, but the community plays a bigger part.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, I feel like unaona the challenge we have is we have munoitishe panopinda munhu. So we have a situation where we receive someone and yeah, we have a program, we're going to do 1 2 3 4 5
Yeah.
and then we finish that and tapedza naye but then tobva tangomuzorera
Yeah.
in the same messy situation yaanga anayo.
Without a proper discharge plan.
Yeah. And then this is not even kuti ngatiti munhu paanobuda ngatimpe mari. We know we don't have those resources and we really don't have the push yekuti tingatoti munhu ngatimuendesei obva atanga kunoshanda pakati, because
Yeah.
unemployment is 80
Yeah,
something 89
90.
92 but I'm not sure.
It's in the
It's
90s
ridiculous.
there, yeah.
Hatina mabasa but are we then toughening them up mentally? Because physically, yes, we're getting it done. Maybe, at school, access to those drugs. At school, I say,
Yeah.
better to exercise, they have something to focus on whilst they are with others. And it's a group setting. And so they can also, manage a group thing, like you kind of move in the same direction.
Yeah.
But once wabuda manje, then now wawega. I'm from Chipinge, I don't know. Pabushu.
Madzokera, because the other, in relation to this example, what do you think? Because asha kutodzoka community ari celeb. Afamba mTikTok, afamba kwese. So, do you think it's going to do good to him? Because obviously, art on a street credit. A lot of guys, they will be looking, up. What Tomtarisa says, it's sort of role model.
Yeah,
And there was also
socialite. I don't know the Buddha Anembiri. Yekuti, what, this guy was part of our program. Atobo, Asif.
Which you wonder, like, how most of my ghettos are set up, and how influence, like, if so spreads, So
yeah, it's not that great. Like, and I feel like even Mugeto Medo and Trukuregerera Apana Vedu as well. Because I indakura ghetto, like and I ghetto life to cater to that.
Yeah,
but title zero, like my dad, my blast this was and I tweet Zimadira or Timregara my bridge. That's it. I told you got him. What's that? You're fine. In a bad
day.
Kanoti Amvana Onaga, Urmanam Dig.
Yeah.
And it's not. So this is where I'm worried. Kuti Takuluza that love ye. Iwapana to that extent yekuti takuintroduce abafana ma 10-year-olds kumtoriro kutengesera mfana 10-year-old mtoriro mari alfa notenga ma Zimnex takumtitenga mtoriro
tenga mtoriro, because sometimes you want to story no mari
but it's worrying one because I feel I feel like we need to get that back where we look out for our children, especially abafana. I mean I feel like anokura if you want to destroy your life and and it's a personal decision. We can only do as much. We can only do so much. Guti, who want another direction, but let's just try to protect the youngins. That's true. Let's have. I feel like this is like I guess from this podcast, guy, we can safely say maybe at Namari so safety right, and obviously we want a more therapeutic and more holistic intervention
yeah
to this issue.
yekutoti papanopinda munhu murehab and even paanozobuda those follow-ups are very important.
Yeah.
You know, munhu ngaakontinue achiuya kana ane masessions, psychology sessions, masessions nema-occupational therapist, ma-reviews ako nama-doctors, they should stick to ma-schedules iwaya. Sometimes munhu angobuda 1 month atorelapse, you know.
That's a talk. And I also
Inyaya
feel like, you know,
yekuti tadzosera munhu mu-community asati aredi, or we are just getting back munhu mu-community makakonzeresa kuti apinde in the first place. So there are a lot of issues that needs to be addressed when it comes to my interventions, drug and alcohol abuse.
I mean, to be fair, I think it's also like a good point. And you know, we talk about obviously unemployment and stuff and it, but I think we have so many people who are qualified to sort of like register and sort of like support people even in the community. I mean, these are models that I think I've seen work somewhere else.
Yeah.
Particularly if we're talking about protecting children and stuff, like these models work.
Yeah.
We are unemployed to the ghetto, to the wherever we are. Why don't we have these conversations with people? Like, you don't necessarily need. Of course, you need the money and it. We know, but I feel like if you talk to other people about it, like if you try and engage certain people, you know, you help someone.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
it helps. It helps. It really helps.
Like in my hood, I know like there are people like I can actually one day to try to do reblast. Amazon boy. What did I find? Which is already but I want to so. At that point, I don't know what I'm pakashata, but it's something that you've done. We've seen my anonymous, my alcohol anonymous groups or my monad discharge or who's at Mfanoko next at discharge of rehab. Why not have that conversation? I'm Fanong.
You know.
Go now and so now.
But the most important part is afterwards, how are you going to go forward?
I see. Yeah. Because there's gonna be so many people who go, I'm fine. What's all that? That not talk pins.
What is street credit?
What is street credit?
Also big goes. Superhero. But these are the issues that need to be. You know, I feel like my interventions they do at community level actually mashomo because that's the grassroots. Look what have my community centers, you know, discuss, or we have programs for my youth, you know, have my professions in community, you know.
Even just mentorship programs.
Even mentorship programs. They really help.
And I think Dopano my celebrate, you know, like you know, we have my celebrities, you know, get in the community. You know, I'm not always there. But then just get in there, have a conversation. You know, that I know I've seen quite a few celebrities. They're doing good. Like I know, obviously, we have Vigilance Football Club, Tile Football Club, Freeman, HKD. We have my artists, King Shadi, they go out there, they play football. Yeah,
these are kind of, you know,
those things are good. I've seen the Master H as well. He went to Mbari, I think, at some point. Like he hosted a football tournament. And I'm not sure if they did the follow-up because the guys, you know, chase your dreams.
What are we doing? And
those things are important. I'm talking about ignore. I don't think what I target, but you know, check it easy about it. You know, we have a reference point.
The grassroots. I think, you know, in my interventions, there's also like a wonder. Attack at kunotangira problem. It avoids a problem.
Plus, you know, we always. I'll say this. This is actually funny, but it's so true. Why is that every essay on your hand? Why is it, however, we do not have resources? So, like, that was always an answer. For anything, you can think of anything. However, resources are limited or structural, what. But I feel these are more a little bit. Obviously, there are people who specialize in this, but I think our appeal is, guys, let's look into it. Like, let's start padas.
Yeah.
Let's work with the people we have background.
Even educating, my effects, my repercussions, my drugs, what they do to, because I've had conversations, nerimwe boys rangu ratakakura naro kuita zvefodya zvembanje chivabatisa, guys, do you know what my drugs are doing to your, even kusmoka kwavari kuita, what is it doing to your lungs? Umwe ndakamuudza ndikati imbonogoogla, ndasina kukupa homework iyi, imbonogoogla ma-effects of, because iye anga kutorwa zvekuvaping zvitori serious kuti anga kutogara nepower bank rekukachaja. No, I'm just giving you an example. I'm just giving an example,
It's okay. Yeah, obvious.
Fodya and everything. Akauya kwandira achiti blazi ndakazoona pepe maitaura chokwadi and I should do something to stop this.
Yeah.
So I feel like I made a difference.
Just by having
follow
a
up. Just
conversation
ndakangova neconversation naye. Go and do homework. Asina kuudza inini. Inotsvagira wega. Inotsvaga ma-statistics nationwide and worldwide. Uone ma-effects azo. And akauya achiti I'll try my best with it.
And I feel like another key part we didn't really discuss is, some of these things, and they come from a place of trauma. People are going through the most out there. And some of these things are real.
Yeah.
And some of these things very individual. Like in Indian ndogona get zafana tinye ku yemjolo. And ndogona to ramba naska ndoto tabo. Safe to tangidza mangwana. But then someone got antopinda mu level of depression.
Yeah.
So I feel like if we have that motto, let's look at if it's trauma, and let's try and address that. Obviously, it's not easy to address a trauma, but it also comes back to such as corporal punishment. It does a bit, but then trauma, you're just reinforcing. On top of
yeah. So, and then after a person goes big,
they're literally just gonna now they're even more traumatized. Can I tell I know this
cycle come in again. It's like,
but anyway,
it's a very complex issue which needs input and helping from various stakeholders.
Yeah, I think we need that. Yeah, we definitely do. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for being with us. Thanks for coming gift.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll be having this podcast every week.
Every week.
Right? We look at different things. We talk about everything.
Trading issues.
At once the sick is and this kind of talk now. But we're gonna talk about everything. So have a good weekend, guys. Please follow us.
Yeah.
So our page will be in the link below. Shanyora. It's Gosh Talk and the Tiripajabhuna podcast. So we are with you, Pajabhuna. We talk
Support
about
us,
the
guys.
things at the ground. All right, guys. Have a nice weekend.
Cheers.
Drink responsibly. Vanotamba. And then again, guys, my drugs. I got to chilla. My drugs.
That will be like.
Our boy.